On this episode of Fellowship of the Sword, we explored a question as we continue our series of myths on demonology, and that is...
souls, and can the Nephilim really be the reproduction of satanically produced babies by Satan? It's a good
This
one.
is a big one.
Very big.
And that includes the origins of demons for some points of view, but...
Yes.
First of all, I guess we probably should begin by saying the Book of Enoch was purposely rejected by the Council of Bishops way back in Nicaea. You know, we're talking, 400 and something or another AD.
Yes.
But let me tell you, there was a reason for it. It's not a lost book. And anytime they ran into something that was in the book that was so far out there, they figured, well, it was written by Gnostics. Those are people that tried to assert things, to sort of follow their kind of neo-pagan Christian beliefs.
Coming from the word gnosos, which means a knowledge. They believed they possessed a knowledge that no one else had. That's why the Gnosticism was so big.
And they were apart from the Christians. So why it was important they determined what kind of Christian were you, the real kind or the Gnostics?
Precisely.
Hence the term agnostic.
Yes.
Questionable. And the big thing about this is the Nephilim has been explored and exploited and whatever in documentaries and even this movie Noah, and that was really far-fetched, but great special effects though, and kind of an interesting concept on the flood.
Excuse me, movies are entertainment, not based in reality.
Let me address the first thing that is the big myth, and that is the ghost. I'm sorry, not ghosts, but demons.
Yes.
Demons are the souls of Nephilim. And that's where they say, then I said, well, I think we have our definitions different because
Precisely.
we're considering demons, and we say demons and we mean fallen angels. We don't mean some disembodied spirit.
When we say demons, to be very, very clear here, we're talking about that 1/3 of all the angels. We're talking about beautiful, pure spirit angels that were created by God. 1/3 fell. So in other words, they used their word to deny there was a God, and that he was omnipotent, omnipresent, and he was all-powerful. And that created the schism. So we're not talking about somebody's fancy idea of a cute little vampire running around and going, I'm going to mate with a human mom. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we've gone over that. We'll probably leave that one for going into detail on maybe when we talk about succubus and incubus, and that'll be a topic that, a bit controversial, but it's something that we have to deal with
The Nephilim.
in our field of work.
Who are the Nephilim?
The Nephilim, if there were souls, okay, let's look at the hypothetical first. If it's possible for the fallen angels to look upon the daughters of men and to just go create babies, somehow they're carrying the seed.
Precisely.
Then the Nephilim would be, in theory, the
possible?
offspring. It's their spirits. They don't
In
carry.
all
They don't have the gift of the
recorded
seed from
history.
God.
Sumeria, some of the oldest recorded, the Norse. There's no evidence of any sort of superior creature that took on flesh. See, one thing we have to address here is that pure spirit is neither male or female. It cannot be. And for the Creator to create us, male and female, that was a choice in the beginning of creation. So for one of these fallen angels to take on flesh, they would have to choose a sex. So if they would have to choose a sex, that would mean they would have to recreate sperm like God did. I have, in all the research, in all the books, I have not ever come across any evidence that this is even possible. So if they cannot create flesh, they can create the image and they can create the idea. They can create any sort of scenario like a bad acid trip in your head. They cannot create a flesh and blood replica, or they would have done so by now. It's not possible.
Oh, what do people say? They say in cases that we worked in, it actually felt, the intercourse as though they're being raped.
And that is basically in their mind. People don't understand. This is how powerful demons are, that powerful to convince you that your flesh is being touched. And in some cases, they manage to cross and actually touch you, but create sperm, to create a child, have not seen it. Not possible. Pure spirit does not recreate. God creates. Humans create.
It comes
Not
from
angels.
living male, passing it on generation upon generation. That's why you look in the
Yes.
lineage of kings. You know, you're in the king of England. You know,
Yes.
things that we ran into a documentary lately. They would become obsessed with having that offspring son because they know they carry the seed. But angels do not have that ability.
No.
You know, as humans did in life,
the
and
nice
they never
thing
did.
is a lot of people don't know that there are other choirs. There are many levels. Just like we have an hierarchy of the beautiful choirs of angels that exalt God in all His glory. They sing. Their object of passionate pride drives them to the levels that they occupy and the places that they occupy, especially when they're here on earth. There's a reason they're called fallen, and Nephilim is only one, shall we say, region that the angels inhabit, because all angels were given assignments by God, and the dark ones are pretty dark.
So if you look at the idea of the Nephilim too, let's say it did happen. Okay, we know how many demons. We'll just say demonic cases. We have ones tempting, haunting houses, possessing, all over the world. Now, if there were just how many incidences of these things? How many women made themselves available for this type of unholy interface? We'll just say. And then what would the result of the offspring be? Thousands, 2,000, 10,000s? That's still not enough to accommodate for what's going on in the world. I think part of the idea wasn't that they were saying that demons were all locked in hell under a key, so it can't possibly, fallen angels.
Yes.
Because of some misquoted Bible, might as well be Bible, Bible babble. The misquote of the Bible.
Later.
Something along that. We got another topic about those.
You're talking about the women offering themselves, all right? And there's a lot of cases where people believe that in black masses and satanic rituals and witchcraft covens, a woman can open herself up and be impregnated by a demon. All right, get real. There is nothing less than a human egg and a human sperm getting together. You cannot mix pig, gorilla, hippopotamus. It's been tried in Russian and German tests that go way back. Exactly. So if there was any opportunity for a satanic being to be created, it would have been created. The best that they can hope for is to create a child and offer it literally to Satan. So what does that mean? That the child, just like a child is offered to the love of the beautiful Creator in Christ, is offered to the dark one. And the child will become possessed because the child has been blessed by Satan. That is not the same thing as Satan creating a child. Far from it.
Exactly. He's distorting it.
Exactly.
And
so
we talked in another segment
there's
about,
so much deception about Satanism, too. We're going to have to cover that later as well.
Yeah, maybe on that specific topic. So
Yes.
watch for that one in upcoming episodes. The last thing I was going to add was that when we talked in another episode you can search for out there that relates to demonic infecting you with cancer and so forth. Well, how about the process of a baby developing in the womb?
Yes.
Maybe they can make it distorted and try to make it look like it has horns, which we really haven't had any proof of. It sounds like it's more legend.
Well,
we
not
looked
only
into it
legend,
deep, and
I think
doesn't.
it's more suggestion. It's the power of suggestion,
Yeah.
because people have committed suicide or literally tried to cut their babies out of their womb, believing by the power of suggestion. This is demonic. This is demonic, people.
They get farther that way sometimes than they do
Precisely.
anything.
So when you're looking at Nephilim, just know that they're evil. They can't recreate themselves. They never did, and they never will.
You know, whatever the
Because
giants were.
God hasn't allowed it, and He's not about to. So I think that about wraps us up for us today on this episode, and we want to thank you for joining us. Keep in mind that, guess what? The battle's already won. Satan's been crushed. We're here temporarily to fight the battle, and we want to help you fight it even better.
www.swordsofstmichael.org is where you can find us on the web, and also CatholicDemonologist.com, where you can purchase our videos, our books, our
prayer
media,
beads,
audiobooks.
rosaries.
Exactly.
And if you ever have a problem, we're here to help.
Thank you very much, and please subscribe to our videos so that you'll know when we come up with more. And have a good night.